universe. It's Cane Nerd Tip Tuesday, and today we're in the Sobrevivencia series still. Thank you so much for your kind feedback and letting us know that you want to see more of this unique cane system. Today, a very, speaking of unique concept within that Sobrevivencia. Probably haven't seen this before, but before we do that, I always like to say in sunny Miami, Florida. But look at those clouds, so I'm gonna have to expedite this today. Two things you wanna do straight off the cane. Go ahead and, have you requested already? You have two free resources, the no-cost cane clarity call. Text the letter CCC to 305-745-7839. In less than 24 hours, we'll be on the phone with you, answering all your questions regarding, well, anything really having to do with the cane culture, but more importantly, put an asterisk by it, how to get cane trained where you are. It's not gonna happen by watching video. I appreciate all the kind feedback, but this is cane entertainment, right? You're looking at some of this, it's not broken down enough, and you don't have the feedback that you need. It's necessary. We need to see what you're doing. We can show you how to do that, give you an actual game plan, take advantage of it. And then also, we have a Facebook group that is open to the public, but you have to request entry. It's set up as a private group. Look at the description below, request entry, they'll let you right in. The name of the group is Cane Flow. So, this is a skill. Grandmaster Ruiz refers to it as scanning the body. And the direct translation of it, the word in Spanish is registrar, which literally means to register, but what it implies is that you're scanning. So I want you to think of, you're going through security and you're being patted down. You're scanning to see if you're carrying anything. To understand why this concept, why this strategy even comes out, go back always, I always tell you, to why it was put together, right? The main concern, dealing with multiple assailants. Those assailants are generally armed with an impact tool, and the resources that you have is something like this, and maybe even not as sturdy as this. And this is something that is used close quarters. And it's when you're dealing with multiple assailants, the strategy is A, to put yourself in a safe position where you're not going to get struck. You're very difficult to grab, right, and to escort and to get out of here. And also putting yourself and using those assailants sometimes as a shield. We know that up to 3, right, this is the conversation, 3 assailants, they can still get to you. When it's 4 to 7, which is a lot of times what he had to deal with on the island, they tend to get in the way of each other, especially if you know how to shield and how to do this. You're not going to tell these guys, hey, just move, and you can't just come up to them and move them. So he had a way of moving them. Now, don't just focus. If you only focus with what I'm doing with the cane, you're going to miss out on this. I'm going to have to tilt the camera so you see what's happening with the feet. And let me show you just from the simplest. In dealing, remember the cane, he always keeps the cane close to the body. In dealing with something here, it's not just that he's striking, but this registering, what it does is rake down the arm. Think of it as sliding down and raking. So he's taking advantage of how exposed the nerves are. And also he knows that the targeting, and I'll show you now. But the idea is to create this raking down on the body, which has that extra effect. Why did he need that? It's not enough to do this. He actually had to move. Think of, those of you that are familiar with American football, think of an offensive line creating holes, and you have to move these individuals so that you can get to the other side and get out of a mess. Turn around for a second. Just because I'm going to show you this. The autonomics, you can predict what happens when you rake in certain areas and how the body's going to respond. Nobody that you rake, for instance, on the ribs is a targeting area. The ribs were in this way. When you come down, you're not going to run it, you know, with the cane this way. You have to, he always emphasized, you have to know how to do this. When you rake here, the natural inclination is to bend towards that area, right? So, coming with a strike, very close in, and now you have that, sorry about that, you have that going in, and I'm doing it with something that doesn't have, I'll show you now if you're using one of our wooden models how you can maximize that. But this is what I want you to focus on. You'll miss this. In the movements, there is a stepping which magnifies the whole thing. So a lot of times you'll see this in the moves, you'll see it, it's very similar to what our cane flows. When you do this, we're not stomping because it implies that you're stepping on the foot. Now here, it gets done very subtly. Notice the move, and then you're coming right in here and stepping either across or coming around and stepping on that foot. So when he comes here, here's the rake, and the fact that she starts going that way starts stretching out the ligaments in the foot here, right? So if I don't like her, she's my enemy, I rake all the way down and I do not remove my foot from there. If you don't remove the foot, greater probability of doing damage on those ligaments. Same thing happens up close, right? Remember, this is why he kept the cane in. So what happens if he has to deal with a bear hug? Oh, there's the adjustment. Look at the positioning, right? Now this, you say, well, you have that in ACSD. I know, and it's not coincident. Same deal. When he comes in here, if he can find, we're going to use this as a tripod, but it's going to come to break across on that chin. Now, if on top of that, I step on, go ahead, and she's in, and I do this and come in, now you see how it starts buckling. And it's working most of the time in this case on the fact that what? Wood in this case, this light aluminum on bone hurts, and the same thing working on nerves. Now let me have that cane over there. Yeah, both of them. I'll take both of these. It works with a stick. Again, you've heard me mention, I've never seen him show up anywhere where he doesn't at least have something real simple that he just picks up on Home Depot oftentimes before class. This works as well with those concepts, but let me bring to your attention something like this is a Crimson Spinner XL ACSD Crimson Spinner. Now take a look at this. Now what do you think might happen? Set those down. No worries, Vanessa's already given me the heads up not to be, but anywhere where you find yourself in this situation, and now I'm coming in and I got to move this individual here, right? So cane masters put in their rumble strips. Also in the back, there are these narrow grooves that are designed specifically for that. It's abrasive. So I want you to visualize that, but you can also feel it. You don't have to be really tough with, but it was a strategy that he discovered in dealing with these individuals, that there's several parts. There's the defensive move, getting yourself to a safe place, but when you have to move someone along, this registering or scanning of the body that he does to go ahead and move somebody out, it got people to move a couple of feet and allows you also to blend. Remember, he has, you have these movements here, so now you blend here, and now that individual's between you and the other, and that gives him an opportunity to create some distance. So that's the way that we want you to think with this. But one more tool that you have in the Sobrevivencia toolbox, very interesting, but again, he makes, there's two things he always emphasizes: the stepping, right? There is a stepping component that will magnify it, and also the fact that you have to know how to do it to get the effect. And right now, those of you that really like this, you're considering, some of you reaching out and saying, wow, I'm really thinking about attending in September the Fall Cane Immersion, where Maestro Ruiz himself is going to be guiding us through that level 1 certification. Well, it's just over 50% right now to capacity, and we're trying to get real creative there with other instructors to assist in that kind of thing, because we do want to accommodate. But if something you're thinking of doing, please text a fall 2023 to 305-745-7839. Let's always have a conversation. You can't just enroll. That's why you just don't have a link. We want to make sure, we want to know who you are if we don't know you, and make sure that there's a good fit there before you do anything. And please, by all means, if you haven't done it already, the first thing you should really do is text those letters CCC to 305-745-7839 for your no-cost cane clarity call. Let's see where you're at right now. And those of you that, by the way, you're sitting on a chair and you say, well, the importance of that footwear coming in, there is a way to adapt it to there and have that raking. It's beyond the scope, obviously, of what I'm sharing here, but come as you are. We meet you where you are. We apply the principles for the simple reason that, well, criminals don't care, and we got to get it done, don't we? All right, I'm Joe Robaina for American Cane Self-Defense and Sobrevivencia. We just made it. It's starting to drizzle. Thanks for watching. Keep caning. Stay safe.